Welcome, beautiful, divine masculine and feminine darlings. This is the Seraphim Gem Gypsy, Seraphim Indigo Empress, Shiloh Horizon, and I don't plan to be here for too long. But I'm still actually getting downloads. I just picked up a whole bunch while I was in the shower. I'll get into those in a moment, but the song Cold Water also just started coming through as a last message. Specifically the line where he says, you shouldn't be fighting on your own. And this goes hand in hand with two things. I had just gotten out of the shower and just done the laundry, so my towels were in the bedroom, not where they usually are, folded in the cabinet. Haven't gotten that far yet. One on the timer, meaning that I dried them, tossed them out here so that I could put them all away nicely, and then I ran through the shower, but I forgot to bring one in with me because normally they're all nicely folded in the cabinet and it's just second nature to grab one from there. So there's also a message in that, having things in a nice organized space or making sure to get things. Oh, that feng shui energy came out yesterday too. That makes sense. Making sure to get things in an organized space, right? I also picked up another message about that this morning, like being able to or enjoying, in some cases, the spontaneity of going with the flow, but also enjoying or having a need for a healthy regimen of some kind of structure or routine. It's just about having balance. And it can be, somebody says, well, how can you do that? Well, the duality of things. On one hand, having some kind of healthy structure or routine can give you the freedom that you need to have more spontaneity. For example, if you make sure to have your laundry done and your stuff as organized as possible, if you suddenly have a free plan or free time in your schedule, something opens up, whether it be universally or otherwise, meaning you already had space in your schedule or the universe cleared space in your schedule for this. But something, if you already had space and something pops up so that you can fill that otherwise empty space and schedule, like maybe Divine Masculine has an opportunity that he sees to go spend time with Divine Feminine, right? He wants to go take an adventure with her or something. His laundry's done. And his life is organized to the point where when he suddenly sees this opportunity, he's ready to go. He just has to pack a bag. His laundry's already clean, right? It's already organized and put away. So he knows where everything is. It's not going to be as difficult to pack to go for some kind of adventure, do something with her when he's already relatively organized. No, it doesn't have to be that way, right? You don't have to have everything balanced and organized to perfection. I hear true love meets you in your mess, not your best, in the stress, not your best often. However, it also doesn't have to be a situation where it's anything in relation to Divine Feminine. This could be in relation to any type of dynamic or situation, but the main core point, meaning it doesn't have to be about romance, but the main core point is that I hear get ready or be ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Pretty much. Somebody's still questioning these 2 points. So simple examples of like laundry and making sure things are is effectively folded and put away. So again, message in that laundry reference. If an opportunity pops up that he wants to take, and the divine masculine energy I'm picking up understands, but someone else is questioning, so let's just break it down and move on. Yeah, I shouldn't have to explain this. No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory too. But anyway, here we go as a teacher. So if your laundry is already done, then if an opportunity or an offer of some kind of adventure comes up, then he doesn't have to think about, well, what am I going to pack? All my laundry is dirty, or try to figure out how to fix that problem before being able to take the steps of going on that adventure. And then here's the second piece of it, whether it's still needing to make sure everything gets cleaned, or everything is disorganized, he doesn't know where anything is, it's not put in its normal environment or proper place in his let's say in his house, or whatever the situation is. Not only does he have to do those extra tasks just to get ready before he can even say yes to an adventure, and hope that he has time to do all those tasks before, like maybe it's an event or something, right? And it has a deadline. Well, he won't have time if he has to fuss around with all kinds of stuff. And then even if he does have time, then he has to try to deal with stressing and running around and trying to get things organized and finished and ready in time to do whatever thing. And it's just not fun. Like, it takes the fun and the spontaneity out of the adventure on a lot of levels. It's stressful. But if you get ready, and if you stay ready as a result, you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So 2 options, just to put it simply, for those who are not visionaries. Don't eat that. I hear you. You silly goose. One is everything's disorganized, his laundry's not done. He gets an offer, an opportunity, an idea, but he's not even prepared to go do that. And then it's a scramble to get organized and hope that he doesn't run out of time, or hope that he doesn't blow his shot, and it's just chaotic. Or if he makes sure to just regulate himself and his life as best as possible, make sure that his stuff is clean and put away where it normally is, if that opportunity or that offer comes up, it's a quick and sudden, oh, okay, I think I'd like to go do that. Let me just go over here to my drawer where the shirts are nicely put away in the shirt drawer, and the pants are nicely folded in the pant drawer, and I can quickly grab a few outfits because everything's right there, and it's easy to, this must be a specific analogy for somebody. This is very specific. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. It's easy to throw I hear weekend bag even just together, or outfits together for a week or something like that. And so he quickly does, because not only is it clean, but it's not hard to find. It's all organized in the right spot. And then he goes on his merry little way, happy and much less stressed, because he doesn't have to scramble or worry about these extra tasks, because they're already done. So that's that. It's not just for divine masculine, though. Reflection. I heard that, reflection of my headspace. I heard that. So what I would say is that's probably a trauma response. In a number of cases, I hear it is. It can be if your mind is full of stress or trauma or distracted by those things, it can make you put those normal daily tasks and routines on hold because it's not as important as surviving. Like you'll have time to go clean the kitchen later, you know, but not if you're dead. So if you're being put in survival or stress mode, typically speaking, your brain goes into overdrive mode, shuts down everything that's not important to basic survival. And yes, while it's not ideal to be in that space, it's a very primal it's a very primal state. Clutter, I hear clutter can be a trauma response. Somebody doesn't like this truth. It's like attack on the throat chakra. And why did I do that to her? She knows every time. Yeah. So the reason for this is that well, partially what I just explained, right? That your brain is not focused on all those other like more human tasks. It's focused on just baseline animalistic primal survival mode when you're placed into that state. But on the flip side, it's a state of overwhelm. Like if you are burdened with an excess of trauma or some kind of struggles this way, it's not uncommon for some people going through this to have their environments reflect this. So some people need really clean environments because it helps them focus and think straight. And it's also the one thing that they can control. Like if somebody was abused or they were bullied or entrapped, isolated, they were dealing with something that was not okay, that shouldn't have been happening, that was out of their control on some level, meaning they couldn't stop it or they were further abused if they tried or something, then, or if someone was assaulted, physically assaulted or assaulted on any level, really, that wasn't in their control. Even if they tried to protect themselves, you can't make people be good people. So people still decided to try to cause harm. And so as a trauma response, sometimes when your bodily autonomy especially is violated, meaning you say no or you don't give someone the authority to come near you or touch you, let alone hit you or anything else, that's a violation of bodily autonomy, meaning control over your own body and your own rights to boundaries and such. And that's a base right. And when you have somebody violate that, it can feel very distressing. And so, because that was out of a victim's control on that level, and that's what abuse is, it's all about power and control. Baby kitty. You want some love? One of the things that they do have control of is their environment. So they make sure it's nice and clean and organized, and they take care of things as best as they can because they do have control of that. And it's kind of similar to how sometimes when you have assault victims, some of them go and they choose to be with different people because it's their way of feeling like they're taking back control. Somebody tried to force fit their yes into this person's no, whoever was assaulted. And so the person who's assaulted feels like as long as they're the ones who are choosing to go and pick different people to be with, it's their way of taking their power back in the situation. It's not often a healthy coping mechanism. It often leads to other issues, but that's one of the ways that people who go through, especially specifically sexual assault, deal with. And the other way is the full out opposite end of the spectrum if they pick one of the two. It's not typically by choice, it's just often the coping mechanism. The other way is that they stop opening up to people that way. They go cold turkey, they go celibate because, again, it's their way of reclaiming their body and their power as their own after somebody else tried to violate what is otherwise sacred space. So that's different for different people. Those are two, just based on psychology, polar opposite spectrums of those trauma responses. However, all this going back to clutter, it all goes back to the fact that, yes, keeping things clean and organized, like either becoming celibate or choosing which people that they're with after, on either accord, they were violated and their space and their rights were violated, their body was violated. It's their way of, I hear sovereign, reclaiming the sovereign power within themselves, but, or at least perceptively speaking. On both accords, whether it be about something as extreme as that or simply cleaning up the house or not, two ends of the trauma response, or cleaning up, making sure that their tasks and errands are done. I hear burnout. Some people may have just been burned out from too much nonsense that karmics were causing for a while to keep up with certain things in some cases. And so I understand, and there's no shade. I'm just picking up on different aspects of collective members. So just go with the flow. Take what you will. Don't force fit your feet into shoes that don't fit you. This isn't for everybody. Nonetheless, on the flip side of this, back to the clutter response, especially after dealing with abuse or something very heavy, chaotic, keeping organized environments can be a trauma survivor's way of regaining some semblance of control in their life. Like, I couldn't control these abusers, or more specifically, I couldn't make them not be abusive, but I can do my dishes. I can make sure my laundry's folded, or whatever the situation is, right? So there's that. But on the flip side, sometimes, because the brain can only process and hold so much at one point at a time, if there's so much trauma going on or so much abuse and so many cycles of it, you can feel overwhelmed. Some people end up feeling overwhelmed to the point where I hear the conversations of the builders outside. It's funny. I'll let them pull out of here first. So partially it's in regards to that flight response, fight or flight response. Like, if you're dealing with threats or too much stress or overwhelm, your body, even your brain, will go into protective mode, and it can only handle so much at a time. right? And if it feels cluttered and overwhelmed and traumatized, and there's just too much at once for you to process, then sometimes your environment can start to reflect that. It's a physical, almost like a physical manifestation of that state of energy. Whereas when you start to feel better or lighten the load of that burden or that stress or that overwhelm, suddenly it's like you have more space and energy or focus to get those other smaller tasks done that maybe you had to put on the back burner for a second. This is not for everybody, but this is one aspect of this dynamic, right? This is one end of the polarity, and different people are different. They hit the scale differently, and it can also shift. Time and healing. So in this case, if you're dealing with some kind of threat trauma response, like a traditional animal, your brain is not focused on making sure everything's cleaned and organized or done up to perfection. It's focused on basic survival. Sometimes even sleep gets put on the back burner when it comes down to that, because your brain and your body thinks, well, I can sleep when I'm out of danger, but if I try to sleep while there's danger here, then, well, it might take me out and I might die. And so that's a problem, but that's one of the body's ways of trying to keep you safe. However, especially when left unchecked, that can be detrimental. You need sleep. So that's one side of the coin on that end of the polarity. On the same end of the polarity, but on the other side of that coin, it goes back into, I keep shifting angles a little bit. (22) The clutter response. Call it a clutter response. It's like a physical manifestation of the way that the inside of your brain feels, and the way that it's just so overwhelmed with just stress and trauma that it can't even deal with all of it at once. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're handling some of it, there's just no way to get all of it at one time. I was seeing something like somebody with a pile of laundry on the floor, just loads and loads of it, and you only have one washer and dryer. It's going to take a bit of time to get it done. You only have so much that you can do at a time without overwhelming yourself or the machine. And because the reason that it's that way, or it got that way, is somebody was already overwhelmed anyway. So it's a cycle and a process. It's not to be judged. It's often a psychological aspect. So that can also be healed, especially if instead of shaming yourself, you understand this. Sometimes you just need some rest to help yourself focus. There's also something in relation to, is it like revenge sleep? When people stay up extra late because they feel like their time was taken during the day, so they stay up extra late and do stuff that they want to do, even if it'll exhaust them the next day, because they didn't get to take care of themselves or do it otherwise. But then they're tired the next day and they're less able to do stuff, and then they feel like, again, they need more time to take care of themselves. But in some cases, it's just a matter of going to bed a little bit earlier, focusing on trying to have a healthy routine. I forget what it's called. It's like revenge. It's like adult refusing to sleep, pretty much. But it's subconsciously a way of trying to reclaim back some of their time and their day to do stuff that they would like to do. Some people just scroll the web, I guess. but it's really whatever. So as far as the symbolism goes, now that that rest of that's been addressed and established, there was some I noticed yesterday. It was a music note, the S curve spiral music note, and a divine feminine seemed like hanging on a rope, or like the music note was almost a balloon. So just letting the music elevate her. No matter what these karmic people did to try to create challenges, the mountain, and obstacles to target her, but there was also a portal energy, meaning moving into new beginnings, new cycles, new timelines, finally closing out old structures once and for all, connections. Not that she didn't close them out before, but some people would not stop trying to latch onto her and creating blockages. That's ending. That's ending. But then I also got some messages today, and some of them are very similar, but I noticed a few other things this time. And it was the same kind of thing, the balloon with the music note, interestingly enough, and like divine feminine seeming to kind of hang on to the thread or the string of it, right? But this time I also noticed it looked like divine masculine was woven into this music note, and he was standing at the cliff face above her, and she was like right up on a ledge on a cliff face below him. It was like she was in a crevice. He was standing at the top of a cliff face, and she was stuck in a crevice, like a crack in the earth. Except for instead of falling straight down to the bottom of this crevice and dying, it's like she was on this little lip that stood out. I need to draw this for you. So as far as the divine masculine goes, this is where the title bar comes in. There's something about a rescue. And you know what? I had a dream about that last night. So, some reference of the princess and the pea. And in the princess and the pea, you had a very judgmental masculine. He was, the princess had been fighting battles and trying to save the kingdom, and he tried to ridicule and misjudge her because she basically had soot on her face from dealing with dragons and all this stuff. And he said, come back to me when you're better presented, as if she should be all prim and proper while fighting battles or after just doing the job of a king or a knight or soldier. Like, where were you? And there's been a karmic masculine who's been trying to, he's a fallen masculine, but he's karmic now. And he's been trying to get back into divine feminine's energy because he wants to try to come back around and get back into her life. I've been picking that up. He also does sex magic, unfortunately. Tries. And he just has been pretty relentless. I hear Divine Masculine say, "She's with me now." David Morris. Yep. So that, it seems to be referencing this king who thought he was all high and mighty, right? Or this person who misjudged the feminine instead of allying with her or honoring her. 30:22, he ridiculed her after she saved him and his kingdom. So she goes to the dragon, and if I recall, I think the dragon eats him. She goes on with her happy little life. It's giving Jezebel Judas, like, you'll be eaten by the dogs, but instead you'll be eaten by the dragon. And then you have the Divine Masculine that comes into the picture. Because really that karmic male didn't belong there in the first place. He keeps trying to force his way back in. I hear it's not working. He says, yes, it is. No, it's not. Only enough. You know how sometimes I tell you guys that sometimes people will do spell work and it's not, picking it up doesn't mean it's working. Picking it up in most cases, in fact, it's just a warning that somebody's trying it. Like, hey, just a heads up. Because often it's coming from some kind of evil eye in someone in your life, or somebody you know doesn't have good intentions for you. Often it's not secretive. And so when the spell work aspect of it comes up, if you're somebody who's tapped into that or being able to pick it up anyway, it's not for it to work. It's not something you have to be afraid of. It's just so that you know that somebody's not got your best interests. And usually it's not very hard to figure out where it's coming from. In most cases, sometimes it's coming from strangers, jealousy or angst from other people outside, but often it's not. And often, if you're intuitive like that anyway, you probably have a pretty good idea of where it's coming from. And if you don't, at least you know to put up some protection or pray, you know, for starters. So there's that. Let me get a pen. And paper. Start with this. So the first one, oof, open sesame. There was a mountain and then like a, kind of like a portal beneath it. But then there was also this like music note thing over here with a, looked like a balloon and divine feminine kind of like hanging from it. Stick figure drawings over here right now. But so you have a quick idea. And this is how they were. They were very crude. Tea leaf reading. And then I noticed this again today, except it was like Divine Masculine was standing there and he was pulling Divine Feminine up because there was also another thing here. I'll do a symbol down here like this. It was like she was, imagine this was a big cliffside here, right? She was kind of like sitting right here on the cliffside needing rescue. But this was a big crevice, okay? So at the top, you had Divine Masculine standing. And it's like he noticed that Divine Feminine, never mind. Never mind that. He noticed that Divine Feminine was stuck down in this crevice, like on a ledge. Like these karmics tried to put her in an unreachable situation. Like they tried to throw her off a cliff and didn't expect her to be able to find a lip of a ledge to hang on to. But how do you get out of there? You know what I mean? Like impossible escape, so they thought. And so this is where this quote unquote rescue mission comes in. He knew she was not going to stop trying to find ways out. Mountain, I'm gonna make it up this mountain. So mark my words before you swallow yours. Just like a pill. Okay, so that was that for starters. Well, they're leaning into each other, but I feel like it's the Divine Masculine who wants Divine Feminine to lean here. Into me. I don't know who that's by. Into me. It's a country song. I think it's a guy singing. Okay, let's do a little reading. Shall we? The song might be called Crash Into Me, not Fall Into Me. I don't know exactly. I think it's a country song. Okay, 90s or 2000s maybe, I don't know. This could be the one. So there is a divine union here coming. Yeah. Manifesting, calling in your soulmate. This is a union. I feel like it's coming from lifetimes apart for some people. Let your friends help you. There it is, told you, past life relationship. I've been picking up that the Divine Masculine has somebody either like in his business network or in his social network or friend group that actually wants him to be happy and successful, and they see that this Divine Feminine is a good fit. His Divine Feminine is a good fit for him. Yeah, he says the haters don't matter. It doesn't matter what the people who don't support the connection do. He's listening to the ones that do. And you know what? That's an evolved response. I'm pretty sure, if I recall, that I say this to people when I notice them either insecure or being bullied. Usually I'll leave them a compliment where it's applicable, but I'll also mention that I know it's the mean comments that stick and that are remembered the most, but I hope that they knew that other people saw and cared differently. Basically, to take the haters with a grain of salt. And yeah, look, separation, release your ex. Told you about that other energy too I picked up. It's being cleared out. the thing about that evolutionary response in regards to dismissing what the haters have to say versus um, the reasoning behind often why, in some cases, for some people especially, it's the nasty comments or the nasty people and the things that they say, the harmful things that they say that stick. It's supposed to let you know that those people are dangerous for you. It's a trigger response. It's kind of like a fight or flight response. So yeah, the mean comments are the ones that stick out the most and that you remember, but those are the ones that your body and your core self, or more specifically your primal self, feels like you need to defend yourself from, because that's an attack, whether it's a verbal attack or otherwise. And so that's a correct response to feel that way, but it's an evolved response to say, no, you're just a mean bully, you're not relevant, I know you're trying to threaten me, but you're not a threat to me. Toodaloo. I'm going to go where the love is. I'm going to go towards the people that support me. In this case, for Divine Masculine, he's saying, I'm going to go towards the people who support my choice in being with Divine Feminine and our connection. I don't need you. And I'm hearing that even if he had nobody on his side, he'd still know that she was for him and that God was calling them together. 4122. So somebody who's gifted. So there are conversations coming. I hear him say, I trust her. Something about authenticity. Yeah. Yeah, see? And there's this message. This is about that karmic energy not wanting to let her go. Trying to battle for her, even spiritually speaking, when she's not interested. She's with me now. Do you want to tell me about that? Healing family issues. Yeah. There's also something about the children, if there are children involved. Being mindful of the red flags and the signs. And the positive leading you in the right direction, but also like how I picked up this person, this karmic or fallen energy trying to insert themselves again into the energy, into the reading. I know that he wants to spin the block and try to pop back up on Divine Feminine, but he's been trying to insert himself energetically first. I hear also just to feel out the waters even. But this Divine Masculine, keep an open mind. There's something here about a Divine Feminine and her child. But this is an angelically guided connection. And so he might not have been with a mother before, but he wants to, he's interested. I also am hearing him say that not every person who has kids is a good mom, but he says that he knows and feels that this Divine I hear she's been through a lot. Yep. There it is. She is a good mom. And there's something about him wanting to, looking like I should go have on a baby with you. And if I'm wrong, I want to date it with you. Yeah, there it is. Romantic feelings. Stay optimistic about your love life. Yeah. He says she's not like other people. Positive thinking. And so here he feels like she brings him joy. Yeah. So neither of them are wanting people from the past. They are wanting to spend time together. It's reminding me of like 6 of Swords, moving to calmer waters. It's safe for you to love. Baby, you're one of one to me. I know that I should probably wind Yeah. So I picked that up. Like he may have been behind the scenes trying to work on getting everything finished and organized to perfection, but he feels like while he was trying to do that, he like pushed her away or lost her. Can we talk it over? Maybe she was bored and left. Yeah. Can we talk it over? I can't hold back any longer. So there's that heart-to-heart conversation. I want to be different. I hear one that, what is it? One That I Want, One That You Want by Mackenzie McKay. I want to be there when you need me the most. I want to be there when you don't need me at all. Let me be the one that you call. Let me be the one that you call. $46.22. You're the highlight of my day. My hands around your waist. Yep, see, there it is. I split the deck. The one that you call. The one that you call. Here, I'm sorry I left you hanging. I knew you were the one. So he let, oh, here, little birdies. He let people in his head. Heads turn every time you laugh. 47.22. I feel that. I felt that switch. That's Divine Feminine. I'm sorry I left you hanging. I'm trying my best to forgive. He says, I know you are. That's why I'm being patient with you. Giving you the chance to give me a chance, he says. I see myself in you. That's her saying, I know that, I don't even have to explain this. I see it. I see the reflection. I want you to enjoy your life. I don't want you to be, I feel like that's him actually going back. He says, I want you to enjoy your life. I don't want you to be stressed out or worry. I wish things were different. He's wanting to make them different though. Yeah, there it is. See, I regret my behavior or lack thereof. Sometimes it's just not having that. Whoa, what did I say? Heard that. Yeah. Anything else? Just because it's a divine connection. Hi, baby kitty. It's God guided. As long as they're both listening divinely. That soulmate, twin flame connection, it's divinely guided. That's where your intuition comes from. It's a higher connection. This is referencing that past life energy. Yeah. He says it's why he's been giving her the chance to give him a chance. He says, I know how much you've been through. He also says, I just want to help you heal. Yeah, look, I just split the deck. do one more. Also, I'm picking up that crown chakra attack. Not just a crown chakra attack, but also I know where it's coming from, who it's coming from too. Crazy pants. Crazy pants. Not mine. I just had to light sage, clear it out. But if it's not negativity from one or the other, it's those outside influences trying to send it. Yeah, see, because they bring you here, the zoomies. They bring each other peace and passion, I hear. But it's more, and it needs to be more than just passion. Passion burns out if it's just passion. If it's based on more than just lust or passion, then there's actually depth of love there that leads to longevity. The ability to have longevity. Why? Because even if moments aren't fun or exciting or hot and steamy, you still love each other enough to get through the difficult times so that you can make sure to alchemize anything that needs alchemizing and create, I hear, rainbows out of the rain. Just need to make sure to put it back in the sunshine. Need you like the flowers need the rain. Need you like the blood running through my veins. Now and forever away. Sometimes I feel so lonely. Feels like there's no one around to hold me. My head gets dark and heavy. Then I see your face. And I can only hope for the best. And I can only breathe with my chest. Step at a time. You're leaving me blood, but don't leave me. I hear the song. There it is. From time to time, we will have happy, strangely written, we will have a happy ending if you and I both empathize? Or emphasize. I feel like this is a foreign person who wrote this. And love for our true selves. Yeah, this was definitely mistyped. Anyway. So basically this is trying to say that in the end, we'll still have happy endings if we both emphasize our love for each other and empathize with each other, honestly. Yeah, see, endings will bring better and new beginnings. As you clear out this karmic energy, I told you, that third party interference. And it doesn't have to be like exes or romantic people that the light workers have chosen. This could be where they're trying to destroy connections, like somebody who doesn't want divine feminine to be with a divine masculine, so they keep attacking her, that kind of a thing. Not that she's with them or choosing them, they're attacking her, especially even more so because she won't. So I also feel like two things. This is those karmics who are obsessed with her and they don't want people to know because they feel like it would expose their motive for targeting her. Yeah, there it is. See, they regret it, though. This is exactly what that is. They regret it. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. This card just came out. Hold on, I put it back, but now I'm getting a download about it. My stomach just dropped. Come here, babies. Where did it go? Baby! Come here. I don't know where it went. I just stuffed it back in the deck and it's right there. It's about past lives. Divine Masculine says, well, I thought that was about us. There's another past life card here coming up. But there was... Let me explain, but I want the card out first. It must be here. There it is. So this karmic thinks that he's supposed to be with Divine Feminine, and maybe they were connected in a past life as a karmic connection, or in this case, I'm picking up it's this fallen masculine. Okay, so he's a karmic now, but he did have the potential to be a Divine Masculine. And for the Divine Masculine who said, well, I thought this past life energy was about me as a Divine Masculine. Well, for some Divine Feminines, there were time periods where maybe in one life she was with one, and then in another life she was with another. When, like, let's say her Divine Masculine wasn't in a physical form when she was in one life. She was physically incarnate, but he was in spirit still. And so instead she ended up with someone else, a soulmate or something like that. Well, in the new life, Divine Masculine's alive, but so is the soulmate. And so it's like the soulmate feels like he wants to be with Divine Feminine because he was before. And then the Divine Masculine feels like he wants to be with Divine Feminine, not just because he was before, but because he has the higher contract with her anyway. He's the one who's soul contracted with her at this point. And in other cases, it's like the the island energy, where the island was destroyed, the people of the island were evacuated, and they sent to this Celtic land, Celtic Isle, except for in this Divine Feminine died and was reincarnated back to the Celtic Isle that everyone else had evacuated to. And so she ended up in the same village as her twin flame, except for she ended up in a new form by being reborn, and he was still in his own body as a grown man, and he had their children, or their child, right, with him. This is my past life in particular, but this does play out. Let me give you an example. Me as the Divine Feminine in this one, reborn as High Priestess. And so because Divine Feminine ends up being a new young child and the Divine Masculine's a grown man at that point, they're not contracted to be together anymore through this process. And so it's kind of like watching his wife die and then knowing that she was reborn in the same village that he escaped to. And so grateful that she's there and alive, but also so sad because he can't be with her again in this life. And he still, I'm sure, holds those grief memories as well, or did at that point, at least on levels. Though he understands, or he did. And so let's say as a result of that, right, issues in the timeline, not being able to be, or not being right for this grown older man to be with a baby, divine feminine at that point, she's contracted to be with an age appropriate divine masculine, or masculine has the potential to be a divine masculine high priest to her high priestess in this life. But when it's all said and done in this next life, both of those masculines are alive. And so it's not even just a matter of one masculine feeling like, well, I was with her in one life, so I want to be with her. And the other saying, well, I was with her in a life, so I want to be with her. It's both of them having shared an experience in a lifetime with her, even though both of them were alive at the same time, right? Like the younger masculine gets to be with the divine feminine got to be with the divine feminine after she was reborn, and then the older masculine got to be with her before she died and then was quickly again reborn. And so they both had a turn with her, a time with her in this older masculine's one lifetime. But just because of the way that timeline played out, especially so quickly. However, he got to watch his divine feminine grow up also. So how nostalgic, but also sad. Fast forward to a new lifetime where both masculines are alive, and the younger one, isn't it funny too that he's the one being hostile and hot-headed? Thinks he's everything, thinks he can do some spell work to get his way out of a pickle or get what he wants. He's the younger masculine, just very immature. In the lifetime where this older masculine, just based on the timeline that played out, he was only like maybe at that point a generation or two-ish older than this younger masculine. But fast forward to lifetimes later, he's so much more mentally, emotionally, and spiritually mature than this masculine, much more than lifetimes. But isn't it funny how it's like this, even though they're both grown adults in this life, the now fallen masculine is acting like a spoiled brat. He was the younger one in that life. Oh, God. And then the divine masculine, who was older and wiser in that life. He had a generation or so. Maybe two. On this younger masculine, just based on the timeline. And he's just responsible. He's just wise, comparatively speaking. He's gifted, but he's also wise. I hear quick to the trigger. Yeah, he knows when to make a move, but he's also he says not trigger fingers though, so he makes sure that when that trigger's pulled, so to speak, just metaphorically speaking, it's at the right time. It's not accidental. I hear intentional moves. He makes intentional moves. Look. I hear Always by James Arthur. Also Adrenaline. Also Deja Vu. Yeah. So if he wasn't communicating or reciprocating, yeah, he feels like that broke her trust, or maybe made her feel like he wasn't interested. You're the soul I've been searching for. Yeah, see, he has this level of depth and understanding that this other did not. He might actually remember or have dreams about these, but the ending or the closure to the cycle, or the separation time apart, that's being cleared out. I like the way she dance. Fire in her eyes. The way she moves, she's got that fire in her eyes. Fire on her waist. Fire in her thighs. She's so dangerous. You know, it's really funny. I heard that all of a sudden, but what's funny about it is that one time my daughter came home singing that because she heard the father of a karmic masculine singing it, which I find quite hilarious. I used to dance to a version of that back in the day, but watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. I should have known better. It was like almost like a warning to his son about not messing with the divine feminine, but he didn't listen. He didn't catch it. I don't think either of them really caught that memo. Yeah. Is this a karmic? And I'm not talking about the fallen masculine. I'm talking about actual karmic energies. And so they're just playing out. They're very immature, like I said. But don't worry, you've got divine protection and blessings. They wanted to create blockages for my light workers. You got it. Don't worry about it. This can be a trauma response. If you go into fight or flight mode, often the blood will rush away from your heart or rush away from your arms and your legs, and it will pool in your core. It'll stay in your core. It'll circle around your core, so it doesn't have to go as far. And the reason it does this is so your heart has more blood to pump more quickly through your body if you need to fight or flight. That's why it does that. It can make people cold, though. It can mess with your hormones, first of all. It can also mess with your temperature because of this, and circulation as a result. And that's really what affects the rest of those things. But as a result of this, all the blood rushing away from your arms and your legs and your hands and your feet so that it can keep just circling around your core, like your stomach to your heart area. It can make your fingers and your toes feel numb or loose feeling. So there's like a water sign, I would say probably Cancerian in some cases, specifically trying to be like you. Not just, but also sitting there either talking crap, trying to get clout. I hear that's funny. You know why? I see it. I see somebody sitting on their social media talking about me because they want attention, but I hear nobody's buying it, but they're interested in me. Yeah. So just jealous people. Jealous. This is somebody either at work, or this is somebody, maybe this is somebody, it's another reader, if it's about me in particular, for example. Wouldn't surprise me. I call justice, judgment, divine intervention, and providence on that situation. I call karma. And exposure on anything that needs to be exposed. All within divine grace and providence, of course. Fire sign causing you negativity. That's the sign of that fallen masculine energy I was picking up earlier too. Leo in particular. So it's like ex-friends, or let me get a charger. Oops. While we're here, okay, so these are energy vampires. You can use tiger's eye to ground and protect. Be mindful not to drink or use substances. I did pick that up in this reading, actually. Before you swallow yours just like a pill. Yeah. Turning others against you. Envious of your career and the money you make. Yeah, we already cleared the sage out. So there's, as far as this goes, because I already hear a karmic's like, well, you drank the other day. I had a drink. 2. And I drank water in between, and I also made a point to eat. Haven't had anything since, and I don't plan to. As far as the bottles go, those sat there for years before anything was even cracked out of them, let alone cracked again to pour a drink for the first time in multiple years. It's liquor, it doesn't go bad. But you see, these people, they're addicts and alcoholics, so they should not be trying to justify their addictions by saying, well, see, you had a drink for the first time in years the other day, so that's not comparable. I also went to bed, got some sleep, and got up early and the next day and handled my stuff appropriately without issue. But you see, you have issues, karmic. I'm not judging, I'm just picking it up, so don't sit there and try to throw that at us. That's what you're getting. I'm not judging you. The attitude you're getting back is rejection of your misjudgments. Projections. We're not taking them. They can't stand to see you shine. Well, you better buy a visor. Yeah, I told you. So this is very likely somebody who wants to try to send people in, or they have before. I've seen this, where they think that if you don't know that they're friends with somebody or that they've recruited somebody, like the karmics know that you won't deal with them. They know that you won't tolerate them, talk to them, let them in, and you won't let the people that you know hang out with them near you either, because obviously they've already chosen, and they've chosen to ally with the ops, meaning, well, they're not your allies. Because if they're allying with your ops, then they're allying with people who are being abusive, and that's not acceptable. That's not an ally to you, that's an op. Because there's no neutral in abuse. What abuse is a power dynamic and imbalance. It's one person trying to control another person. And so if you've got somebody choosing to tolerate that, or choosing to tolerate people who do that, or choosing those people, you're you're dealing with people who are choosing to tolerate abuse, meaning they're accessories to that abuse, and they have become abusers by default, an accessory themselves. It's accomplice. It's being an accomplice. Because abuse is an imbalance of power, if they're choosing the abuser, then they're choosing to suppress somebody else, and they're choosing to ally with oppressors, and that's not neutral. If you choose not to pick a side or stay neutral in abuse, you did pick a side, you just picked the wrong one. It's a character statement about you, it just wasn't a good one. Cheers. Protein drink. So, you know what? I had a dream about that last night too. Some of these karmics having issues with their car, crashes, car not starting. Careful, kitty. Or shorting out, like while it's driving. Didn't that happen in, what is that? Final Destination? Wasn't there a scene like that in one of those movies where some kind of machinery just shorted out, like the power stopped working or something? I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think there was something like that in there. It's just being cleansed out, that's all. Kitty cat. No, come here. Come here. Come here. What's the matter? You hungry? You looking for some more? Is that what you want, my friend? Love you. Come here. You little monkey. Yeah, so we've got some Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get them papers? You're creepy, karmics. It's not a compliment. It's weird, just not the good kind. So they lurk, and then they get their feelings hurt. My little monkey. My cute boy. Just a hungry baby. That's all. Just ready for an early dinner. Ready for an early dinner? It's okay. If you're ready for an early dinner, you're ready for an early dinner. Yeah, that's right. It's okay. If you're hungry, you're hungry. That's what it is. I can fix that. We don't have to wait. You little monkey. Technically, it is starting to get a little bit dark. I don't blame him. Somebody says he has a schedule. Not that I put him on, but usually if I don't already have something down there, like if I've emptied the bowl and I haven't quite noticed by 5 o'clock or so, give or take, maybe. Pretty consistently. Not always. The time varies, but it's pretty consistent. It's just early a little bit. But also, I usually have it full anyway, so you can free feed. Clear quartz. These people were trying to judge or target spiritual light workers, but they're being cleared out. They were cold and heartless. Increasing psychic powers, protection. Yeah, healing, protection. Yeah. And any attacks or intended hexes or curses and what have you that they were spinning, even if it was just word witching via slander. Yeah. See? It's backfired on them. Anything else? Yeah, I told you I picked up that crown chakra attack earlier. Look, 2. Anything else? Told you. They're stalkers. That's crazy. That's psychotic behavior. I mean, they're really unwell, aren't they? Which I think is hilarious because that's the exact same you're crazy because you believe in spirituality. You're fucking crazy because you stalk people. No, I don't. Okay. Well, according to your behaviors and all the cards, they keep tabs on your every move. They stalk your social media. You absolutely do. But you know what? I've had these local people, some of them including some of them who bullied me in high school, leave nasty comments in my social media. I still have the screenshots from a few years back. And this crazy person tried to bully me in regards to my child, tried to bully me in regards to my husband, tried to bully me in regards to trauma. This is somebody who claims to be a nurse, by the way, who was going around bullying trauma survivors and trying to traumatize them further. But this is a Satan worshiper, so unsurprising. Not speculatively, like they posted their favorite satanic Bible and all kinds of crazy shit on their Instagram. And I only saw that because they stalked me on there after I blocked them on YouTube, and they stalked me on YouTube after I blocked them on Facebook. 8422. And then she left a comment saying, "We don't stalk you. We just like to see what a train wreck your life has become." I'm like, first of all, you psycho, that's the definition of stalking. We just want to come here and harass you online and see everything that you're doing. Yeah, that's stalking, definitively. Read a dictionary instead of that satanic Bible you have. How did you pass a nursing class? Stalker. Told you, look. Somebody who's not a good mom themselves but wants to bully other people. We have our kids, as they're working deliberately to either directly kidnap other people's kids that they're bullying or working together as a group to target them. 402. They said all that? Yeah, I have the screenshot still. Do I have it over here? We'll see. There it is. It's right here. Let me show you. Because I told them that they were sick and psychotic for stalking and harassing and not leaving me alone, making fake accounts after I blocked them, after repeatedly stalking me on different accounts after I blocked them on each one. I'm like, just crazy. Hilarious. No one is stalking you. What we like to watch is the train wreck you've become. So in other words, I'm going to deny stalking you while actively stalking you. That's gaslighting. What we like to watch is the train wreck you've become. So we're trying to fuck up your life and then trying to blame you for it and harass you all through the process of it. But yeah, we're not stalking you. We're just victim blaming bullies. Yeah, I know. 8722. By the way, this is the one that, again, Satan worshiper. When she was in high school, she went by Lemoyne, her last name. And when she stalked me on Instagram after I blocked her on YouTube, I saw the Satan worshipping Bible and all this other stuff and all these different things she was posting as a mortician. And so, of course, a Satan worshiper would get a job as a mortician because Satan worshipers use body parts and blood and guts and stuff like that for their graveyard spells and all kinds of different stuff. So, prime access to things for their spell work, right? And then she went and she got a job it's in Bangor, Maine, Bangor. It's called Dorothea. It's one name, like Dorothy, but with a Ia at the end, Dorothea. And then I think the second word is Dix, Dorothea-Dix, D-I-X. And it's like a mental hospital for patients who, I think they live there. And so you have a Satan worshiper who got a job as a mortician dealing with dead bodies, which Satan worshipers use for their spell work. And then she got a job at a mental hospital where the patients are already booked in for being crazy, right? And if they report her for coming in and doing spell work on them or bringing in whatever crazy stuff that she's doing, or they notice something about her that's off, because it is, those are the patients who are not likely to be believed because they're already deemed crazy, right? So what she's doing seems like to me, she sat there and saw her bully. She claims to be a nurse, but saw her try to bully me about having trauma. Heartless, empathy void, Satan worshiper, evil. What she's doing is trying to target people, not only sick people who need help, so vulnerable people, but mentally unstable or ill people within that hospital in particular, because it's a mental hospital. Because those patients are vulnerable. They are either out of their mind to the point that they don't realize they're being abused, or if they do realize they're being abused and they speak up, they don't think people will believe them because they think they'll believe the nurse instead of the psych patient, right? Yeah, hello. I know what you're doing, Jordan. She also posted pictures of her taking her toddler, like 2-year-old or something, into the Spirit Halloween store. And she had this really scary, like, beheaded mask or something. This scary Halloween stuff, blood and guts. And she was scaring the crap out of her toddler with it. And this baby was crying in the shopping cart. And she posted the picture and thought it was so funny. Oh, my daughter's pissed, she said. No, you empathy void weirdo. But you are so out of touch that you can't differentiate the difference between fear and anger in another human being, let alone registered on your own child's face. And I think that's a problem because she's not mine and I still saw it. Oh, that's disgusting to me. Just disgusting. But Satan worshippers abuse children and they think it's funny to do stuff like that. It's not. Did you know that the guy who wrote the Satanic Bible that she's following, she didn't do her research, clearly. Yes, he told you. They want to try to tarnish your name and reputation. It's not working. I told her bosses what she was doing, and I sent them all the screenshots of everything that I'm telling you about. Yeah, see? I know what they're doing. There was somebody that was in a biker gang. In fact, one of them that was targeting me on my property today again. I know what they're doing. So, what is it, like Anthony or Anton LaVey or something? I think that's his name, the guy who wrote that Satanic Bible. Yeah, see, she's got some kind of... She needs to be in the psych ward. That's what they're saying. That's why they gang up with other people. And they did. She even mentioned one of her little flying monkeys by name in that nasty comment that she left. Okay. Yeah, see, like I split the deck again. Let's see what else is here. Constantly, you can't compete where you don't compare, though. It's not working. They're telling people you're fake. Yeah, well, guess what? How's that working out for you? I hear it's not. Your high energy pisses them off. No, they're jealous of it. They're making fun of you. Yeah, but they only try to mock when they're jealous. So guess what? I'm still the tits. Yeah. And they never will be. See, they try to be bullies to make themselves feel better, but they're not. I'm not even being advised to put up salt protection. You know why? I don't need it. They're weak ass little punks. And I have divine support and protection. So, and so does my collective. Yeah, I already handled it precisely. I don't need to do that. Yeah, they can't play the victim. There's no way for them to do it. So that, and spying on is a part of their daily routine, but it's not secret. Like a lot of these people have either dropped off or will want to or are, because they don't like that they're exposed every time they think they're secretly spying. I hear she really does pick up our, yeah. She really does notice when you're being problematic and lurking around in her energy or doing whatever you think you're doing that you're not sneakily. For starters. Silly little geese. So, I think his name is Anthony or Anton. And he wrote that book that she was posting and obviously following. But his last words were... I forget which ones were his and then which ones were Aleister Crowley's, but they both did. They both were Satan worshippers. They both thought Satan was the key and the light and all this crap. But both of them on their deathbeds were scared, and they were said to have said out loud that they had either made mistakes or that something was very wrong. Why? Because the holy pearly gates weren't opening up to them. It was dark and demonic, and the things that they thought were cool to play with while they were alive and gave them power when they were alive, those hellhounds start howling at them the second they cross the threshold. It's not so fun anymore. And it wasn't. What did he say? See if I can find that. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up. He was said to have, on his deathbed, stated, "Oh no, what have I done? Like, oh shit, I shouldn't have spent my whole life worshiping Satan. I'm fucked." Pardon my French. That's pretty much, although we did just go into a very grunge territory, topically speaking. Yeah, see, we're done. They're done. But this is one of those things where, as much as these karmics try to and want to chase clout off of my name, this is not one of those things that they want their name involved in. Why? Because not only does it just look bad ethically and on a human, moral, personable level speaking, it just doesn't look good. Like, no hospital wants a worshiper of Satan representing patients, the most vulnerable of patients, understanding the things that they're doing behind the scenes, first of all. And then second of all, I've got her screen grab bullying veteran combat level trauma survivors and being nasty about topics that you as a medical practitioner or a so-called nurse should not be judging or being bullies about. Like, what if a patient in the hospital had one or the other of the things that she was bullying me on the internet for? She's gonna bully them too for it or because of it? Like, you're a liability. What she's doing is illegal. Though also the gang stalking and harassment. I told her repeatedly to stop stalking me. I blocked her on 3 separate platforms at least. She followed me from Facebook to YouTube, then YouTube to Instagram. I blocked her on every one. That's cyber stalking. That's a crime. And because it's online, that's a federal issue. So, no. No hospital wants to hire a nurse like that. And if they do, their ass is on the line for lawsuits. Yeah. What have I done? Not thought your life through very clearly. You see, because they've built everything on the foundation of lies, bullying people and pretending like they're something that they're not, or pretending like they're good people when they're not, or pretending like they're bad people. They're not bad people when they are, rather. And so, well, I've got this and I've got that, and you've manipulated your way into gaining things, but because you manipulated your way into gaining them, you are not entitled to them legally or otherwise, and that is why they will be snatched out from under you. And like, how stupid do you have to be to post you terrorizing emotionally and mentally, trying to scar children for fun online, and and then thinking that won't bite you in the behind in the long run? Woo, girl, you have some explaining to do. Except nobody wants to hear that, because the picture spoke 1,000 words and you had a whole bunch of them and they spoke for you. So because of all of that, yeah, see, they wanted to sit there and trash talk me. Like I said, people aren't listening, but they are interested in me. Just not in the way that these people who tried to send people to me to bully me with them wanted. Told you, they sit there and they trash me behind the scenes. This is not just about me. I'm sure this is a general. This is just one sociopath in the mix. One narcissist or something. Sending hate emails. It's in reverse. See, look, I told you right there. As I was just looking back over at this.
Yeah. See, divine masculines, like, that's not fair. If this happened to us, we'd be fighting tooth and nail to get our kids back, and la 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 la. Meanwhile, they're deliberately doing things to make things as hard as they possibly can. And yeah, see, divine masculines, like, that's not fair. You have done everything and then some. You've done more than most people would or even have the capacity to start trying to do. It's not your fault people have been breaking the law, and you happen to live in the one state that is not set up to have the proper legal structure and protection to serve the system and the communities that they're in, let alone protect the women and children around them. 10101. Who provide loopholes and give free passes to abusers, but then make it hard for survivors to survive, let alone putting them in survival mode in the first place when you could have left them the hell alone. For starters. 10122. See, nobody's on their side. The only people who are on their side are people who are in the shitstorm with them, and that's not good because they're all in a sinking ship. Except it's not secret. We know what you're doing, dude. You're being stupid. You know why I got it made? Because I made it like that. I worked with a divine to build. You spent your time working with demons trying to tear people down. We're not the same. We both have wands. We can compete. No. No. 5 of Wands. You think you're 5 of Wands. You think you're all on the same level. We all have wands. We all have wands, so we're all on the same level and we can compete. No. 5 of Wands is a bunch of people on the same level just combating each other, hitting each other with sticks. What this has been, at minimum, a 7 of Wands situation. You've got divine feminine standing on her own platform, on her own square, 10222. And then you have karmics beneath her, trying to take her out at the knees with their itty-bitty, immature little wands and their immature, hostile behavior. Because somebody with a evolved, developed wand would not feel the need to do that. It's giving little big man syndrome, non-gender specific. No, see, we might all have wands, but they use theirs to tear people down and knock people down and attack people. And we use ours to defend ourselves if we need to, but more importantly, to build. They spend their time and use their wands to try to destroy and knock people down. We use ours to build and defend ourselves from people like that. We're not the same. So whether wands are itty-bitty and God doesn't support them. I told you can't compete where you don't compare. Yeah, they're just possessed. Also, that girl who, what was it? 100? I think it was 100. She slept with 100 guys last month. 4:20 here on the clock on the East Coast. Well, now, I guess she just went and banged 1,057 guys in 12 hours. And I'm telling you, dude, it's giving Jezebel, Judas possession. That girl is possessed. She's fucking herself up. She didn't even know about HIV or anything like that, or how it can be transferred, and she's stupid. A liability to existence. It's gross. Oh, and I wish she didn't have the same name. I wish her first name was not my last name. That's ew. There's that. Disgrace. Can you imagine? Like, she thinks that... I just hear torn up. On one hand, she's being exploitative. Well, F this. I can get money and I can use my body to get money, which is basically she's prostituting herself. But on the flip side, I mean, she may have some trauma stuff going on. This seems like trauma to me, and I do hope she gets help. But also, this isn't helping. her or other people. Trying to try to break world records of how many people I sleep with in a day. That's gross, dude. And that's what you want to be known for? Like, she's her whole rest of her life. She's 23 now. She's going to be known as the skank that, just be real, the skank that banged over 1,000 dudes in a day. Torn up. Like, imagine how torn up her body is and or will be, especially if she continues like this. Like, her lips are going to hang down to her knees, and I'm not talking about the ones on her face. Whether because she's worn out or combination of that and age, if she even makes it to that age. Can you imagine trying to be cool or get a couple clicks or money or something like that, and then not even knowing about or caring about HIV? What? It's just like young, dumb, and naive, or evil, malicious, giving Jezebel and ignorant, or a combination. On one hand, I have some degree of empathy, like there's something wrong with this girl. There's just not normal behavior, healthy thought process, for sure. And she has this weird glazed look, like she gets excited on the attention or something, but then she's also, it's like she said herself, having to dissociate. I'm like, bitch, that's trauma. You are intentionally traumatizing yourself for clicks or for a few dollars, and it's going to wear you out. The devil's running right through you, and you're going to wash yourself right up quick. Think you're cute now, and you're making a couple bucks now, and you think it won't last long. 107.33. I wanna be forever young. That's not the way to do it. Cheers. And what's equally alarming is that there were over 1,000 dudes willing to jump on that train. I mean, ugh. Heebie-jeebies. Heebie-jeebies. Washed up. I feel like that sounds like desperation to me. I don't can't imagine. Couldn't be me. Wouldn't be me. Never. Cheers. And I told you after 100, if she tried to do this next one, it was going to mess her up. Just glazed over. On a mission to turn others against you. Now, on one hand, I have empathy for the aspects of trauma, and we talked about that earlier. But on the flip side, the whole Jezebel energy and the sheer lack of carelessness or the sheer lack of care, rather, for not only her own regard, but the well-being and the health of others, that's an issue for me. They can't understand your level of knowledge. I would call in protection to make sure to keep that level of protection up in your sleep. Talk to God. Toxic mentality. Yeah, see, they manifest dark and negative stuff. And they're, no, you haven't made. No, I made it that way. I don't do things like you do things. They're recruiting haters. They low-key feed off of your confidence. Whoa. Yeah. Jealous. Now, none of this would be coming up also if these people hadn't not only been playing around in my energy field, but on my social media. Like, she's been stalking my socials. And I know that. I knew that before these cards came out. I mentioned that the other day because when this particular crazy person stalks me, a few particular channels will pop up. My YouTube is set to send me content that my viewers watch. And when this particular stalker watches me, one or two specific drag queens force their way into my algorithm, and then also content about this particular mortician. She has a channel on YouTube, and there's one more channel as well, and they start to force their way into my algorithm, but they never have until this person who used to bully me in high school started stalking me here. And when I went to block them on YouTube after they followed me from Facebook to YouTube and then from YouTube to Instagram, I'd just block them on every one and they'd follow me to the next one. When I went to block her on YouTube after she was stalking and harassing me, this comment right here, this is from YouTube. This is a YouTube comment. You can see me. I'm on a live feed right there. That's my living room. You see my picture in the background and the this picture frame in the background, the doorway over there. It's the other side of the living room, and then you can even see the smoke detector up here. See, I was on a live feed. YouTube. And so when I went to block her after she was leaving comments and stuff like that on my YouTube, here on this particular channel, obviously that's where the screen name is from, I saw that she was subscribed to those particular channels, that particular mortician, those particular drag queens. And they've been popping up again recently, so I knew she was stalking me. But I also have been picking up their energy. Yeah, see, look. I know. I told you, they want you to mention them to gain clout. This is not the attention they want. Because this is stuff that will put them in jail and cost them their careers and get their kids taken away from them. That's what they wanted for us. They were deliberately trying to cause harm and stress and duress to people. That is a financial damage suable crime. I don't know why they thought that they were slick. Yeah, so your spirit team's taking care of it. And I hear it. They think it's funny. They think it's a riot. You hear the tone in my voice. They think it's so funny. Because I'm a little stern with this. And I'm not nice and calm. That doesn't matter. I can still ground and elevate back into that. But you will never succeed with what you've done. Because now you've got to take that L. 113.22. And your apology that will be coming because you don't want me to press charges against you and you don't want to be in trouble for what you've done that I can prove that you've done, and now your bosses know that you've done, and then the rest of the community and the world will know that you've done, including the jailhouse. Yeah, your apology is not accepted in reverse. Like, I forgive you for being a clown, but I'm not buying tickets to your circus. And you know what, actually, I was just going through I had put on, if you've ever seen the photos of me with, like, it almost looks like clown makeup, there's a reason for that. Because this particular person, both of these hood rats and a whole number of their group, they like to put on clown makeup and dress up like juggalos. They're that kind of people. Okay, so they thought that they were cool. And I showed those clowns that if you want to sit there and play with face paint, I can do it better, bitch. Sit down. Can't compete where you never compared in the first place. Queen. But the joke is entirely on you. It will remain so. Indubitably. And indefinitely. Next. Yeah. Too bad. And so Aleister Crowley, when he died, I think the words were, "What have I done?" from Anton. So she picked the wrong idol. At that. He doubted his own path at the end. And then so did Crowley. Crowley was quoted to have said something like, "Something is very wrong." Yeah, you worship Satan and have nothing to look forward to after you die. Except for hell, because that's what you tried to put other people through on earth. Congratulations, as above, so below. And so the world returns. I split the deck. I know. Feeling haunted now, aren't you? Feeling threatened. Told you. That's why they tried to make us feel threatened. I mentioned that earlier. They're mad because you pay them no mind. No. And if I do have to address something, told you, hating on your psychic gifts and abilities, it's because they pushed it to a point where it has to be addressed. And if it's to the point where it has to be addressed, it's so bad that they don't want their name brought up in it at that point. Because that will end them. No bad publicity. Yes, there is. In fact, especially when you have committed crimes. There's no bad publicity. Tell that to Diddy. 11616. He's been crying like a bitch and begging to a judge, but he didn't care about all the little girls and boys he made cry. So there's that. Now you see where the theme comes in. I sure do. Yeah. I know you're jealous, and I can make a name without a man. Copying me every way you can. You can make believe that you're the bigger person. Like you're not talking shit online with your friends. Honey, you'll always be a fan. I know. They don't know how to communicate in a healthy way. If they're recruiting haters, I already heard they're going to fall short. Same cards are coming out. I think we're done with this deck. Is there anything else that you have to say? Haters trying to convince you just to give up. Yeah, no, it's narcissism. So they're apparently wanting to do another bullying spin or tactic because they think it will make people give up. No. Fake friend since the beginning. No, it's not the case. Haters are mad because they see you winning. There are people doing either light magic or praying, even just simply praying for the protection of the light workers, trying to block your money flow. I know. 11822. I hear because they think if our money's stagnant, then we'll be stuck either in abuse or, I mean, it's like these are small town scummy bummy bottom feeders, and they're desperately wanting everyone else to be stuck with them. These are people who feel like they'll never make it out of this small ratchet little place, and so here, crabs in a barrel. They don't want other people to either. But look, nobody's listening to their garbage. Others are noticing their bullshit lies. Yes, trying to project that fear-based energy. I'm gonna mock you and laugh at you because then I can try to project insecurities at you, and you'll take them and you'll feel insecure and you'll just tolerate my bullying. No. You look stupid for trying and you're catching karma for it. Yeah, see, told you. Sending you the evil eye, but it backfired already. Anything else? Yeah, she's too good. Yes, I am. Isn't it funny? This started out as a love reading, but of course, I did mention those karmics wanted to spin like third-party abuse tactics, didn't I? Speaking of, let's see, I didn't mean to grab this deck, but let's pull it out. I'm turning the light on. Let's see. When you're ready to find yourself, you will find me. I've been trying to send you messages. It's from Divine Masculine. Focus on yourself now. He says take good care of yourself. These people
are not important union. Yeah. He says we're still coming together. You're going to see me. Yeah, he says it doesn't, I'm glad that he's glad to know about these. I have an offer for you, these karmics. Like, I need to know what they're doing, and it's good to know, you know, what people have been trying to cause problems with. Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Oh, you know what? The water sign card came out earlier, and this psycho Satan worshiper, she's a Scorpio sun. I've been trying to manifest our reunion. So he doesn't care what, I don't care what they say. I'm in love with you. Trying to pull me away, but they don't know the truth. My heart's crippled by a thing that I keep on closing. Still Bleeding by Austin Snell. You've got the line in it. Brings out the king of my ego. Devil's not letting me go. Still got chips at the table. 121:22. You were in my dreams last night. Everything binds us as one. Do you feel me? Yeah. So he's been picking up these karmics. Like, he's been picking up the disturbances in the force, so to speak. And can we get a night away together? I'm going to contact you soon. Fire sign. Yeah, he's been picking up also. First of all, this fallen masculine I picked up, this fire sign fallen masculine wanting to come back through. Secondarily, also, this divine masculine, like I said, has been picking up these other karmics. So when I come here and I say, let's say it's in this case, it was a earth sign and a fire sign, earth sign karmic and a fire sign fallen masculine trying to play around in the energy field. He already picked that up and maybe didn't necessarily know like who or where. He noticed something, but I had the details to fill in. Like, now I know you were the one from my past life, where it was coming from, and even where the past life ties are and why they're doing it again. And yeah, some of these together we are stronger. He may actually, patience is the key. Like I said, he's the more mature one out of the couple. This fallen masculine, the immature one versus this wiser masculine, this divine masculine. The universe conspired for us to meet, and yeah, doing magic. See, he's been picking up that they've been trying to cause interferences, and I spilled the tea on it. I want to touch every part of you. Let's meet up. This is also her soul and her spirit. Been focusing on you, soulmate. Okay. Second chance. And I did pick that up. He asked, like, is there a chance, something about, can I have a chance to have another chance, or reach out? If I reach out, will you? Just heard a divine masculine say, I'm going to come save you. It's like he knows divine feminine seeking to always keep fighting for herself and her well-being and her kids and save herself. But he says, you shouldn't be fighting on your own. So there's that. He's been picking it up. The soul contract. There it is. I just pulled this out of the center of the deck. Look, it's funny. Beautiful. So there's that. Shouldn't be fighting on your own. And if you feel you're sinking into cold, cold water, I will jump right over for you. And although time may take us into different places, I will Still be patient. I want you to know, and I won't let go. You will continue to thrive on these haters, and I'll be your lifeline tonight. I wanna be there when you need me the most. I wanna be there when you don't need me at all. Let me be the one that you call. Let me be the one that you call. The one that you call. The one that you call. Can you slow down? That's too many at once. I can match it when you do it one at a time, but that was a lot. I hear Ludacris. Before that song finished, they started playing 3 more. Move, and then who's that? 303. Don't Trust a Hoe, and Lips Like Morphine by Kellyanne. The one that you call. It's the last line in that. Thank you. I want a girl with lips like morphine. Knock me out every time they touch me. Yeah. I want a kiss that leaves me gasping. Knock me out. Knock me out. Knock me out. 'Cause I waited for all my life to be here with you tonight. Also, tell your boyfriend if he says he's got beef that I'm a vegetarian and I'm not fucking scared of him. Give me 2 minutes, maybe less. I had to reset something. I'm back. No big, and that also is a message. There is a message in that. Right. Some people tried to create blockages in certain things, but I hear, first of all, rejection is God's protection in one form or another. Secondarily, it's just a reboot, right? Like, we might have had to clear out a situation or a cycle, but we still get to move forward and rebalance. They couldn't stop us. They wanted to. They tried. But I've been picking up these people just possessed, seemingly possessed. And it's not surprising. They've been calling on dark forces. Let's turn the light on. Solitude. Now they're being isolated because people know what they did and who they've been targeting and that they've been targeting people. I hear it looks bad. Impossible plans. So right, their targeting tactics aren't working because people know what they did and are not happy with them. Perception of unity. Yeah. See, they tried to come between light workers. They were angry. Tried to either cause upsets in people and or they're angry because the light workers are still coming together regardless. This might be, what was that other song? I may not be your cup of tea, but I'm your boyfriend's fantasy. Yeah.
And so I picked this up years ago. This was a person who, yeah, they were playing in some dark energy. And the people, this was somebody who was targeting me, and the person that they were with, in some cases, maybe a person they had a baby with, nobody that I'm interested in or would be interested in this. This was a very particular case here. Transformation. But I had no interest. I don't even know that person. I know the karmic female who's been bullying me. I don't know the person that she's with, but I have found this, especially when they're sitting here trying to bully divine feminines, that the dudes that they're with, they end up not really liking them or actually liking the divine feminines more, whether they think that they're hot or they think that they're nicer or there's something about it, and it doesn't have the effect that the karmic wants, right? It may actually make them even more mad at divine feminine, as if it's our fault that their dudes have a crush on a divine feminine because we actually have some depth and are decent. Yeah, see? They were playing with dark energies, angry, calling on dark things, false promises. They called on different demons and things that were promising to be God or to give them things, but those are fake. They deceive you. They give you like an illusion of some kind of success, but it's based on false building and promises, and so immorality, it crumbles, right? Yeah, I have my kid. Where's yours? As they're working to actually kidnap someone's child, and they're doing things that will cause CPS to take theirs from them, right? They're calling CPS and making false reports on innocent people, trying to get innocent people's kids taken away from them, but they're also doing things that will get their kids taken away from them. What do you mean? Immorality. I have this job, where they're being corrupt at their job, or they lied to get the job or something, as if they think that it can't be revoked or reversed or taken away from them. You know what I mean? Things like that. I have all this money that they've either stolen from people or that they think can't be taken from them, or they think like God can't put them in situations to humble them. They're going to sit there and either take from people or flaunt what they have, especially while causing losses for other people. No, God will return that to sender. Yeah, right. Fines and unfair costs. Yeah, they were being corrupt to other people who were just trying to find a space of peace, or they were putting people in a position where they needed, told you, living by your wits and illicit earnings to be able to create or find a space of peace. Instead of just atoning for what they had done. There's something under my nail. Nail polish on it too. Atonement of errors. So there is a course correction happening here. They have to atone for the damages they did and the lies that they told also. They don't have a choice. Traitors and conspiracies. You three-headed snake. They're being seen as monsters because they came after divine warriors. They tried to silence divine whistleblowers. That's a no-no. Propagation of light. Yeah, so the divine says, no, I'm letting my light workers come through instead. Yeah, liberation. I'm setting them free instead. Yeah, my divine light workers were loyal and devoted. Fair and loyal receptivity and submission to a true upright structure. See, they're being called out as if they can't get fired. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. Yeah, you got it by corrupt means. It's being taken from you too. And that's why. Forgetfulness and the release of unpleasant thoughts. So then they also want people to forget what damages that they're doing, because they don't want people to report them for what they're doing, or they want people to just forget what they've done so that people don't hold them accountable. restoration of life, or help the victims. Destruction of environment so that they can continue to be destructive without having to take accountability for it. No. Refuge and finding peace from family conflicts. Like I said, they were targeting people and their children, or they were targeting people's children. Of course, the Satan worshiper was doing this, or working with people to do it. Fruitless labor, and all their efforts were for nothing, because now they're seen as liars and fakes, and they have to give back everything they took, and they have to take accountability for being warmongers, and they have to deal with the damages. In some cases it's financial, and it's definitely karmic. But however, in whichever form that it comes, it's not something that they wanted to deal with or address. But they don't have a choice now. Divinely or otherwise. So that's all I have to say about that, my doves. Please remember to pray. Do no harm. Take no crap. And I will catch you on the next one. Blessings and namaste. 136:22.